getting on. Sat by the fireside, pondering on. Picture book, pictures of your mama, taken by your papa a long time ago. Picture book of people with each other to prove they love each other a long time ago. Picture book, picture book.
Like the Open, so much history here at Gulfstream Park as we begin a new chapter, a new 4-day week this spring. Ron Nicoletti, Jason Blewett joining you from our clubhouse studios high above the finish line. 3 dark days in the books, Ronnie, back at it here in that lull week, I guess you could say, between the Derby and the Preakness.
Yeah, Derby and the Preakness. That'll be next. It's a week from Saturday, the Preakness Stakes. And, of course, starting today with a fast main track firm turf course should be a lot of fun this whole week.
Yeah, absolutely. 10 races on this Thursday, May the 9th, as, again, we gear up for a new 4-day week. In fact, that comes to a head here on Sunday, Mother's Day. So make the plans. Join Mom and the family out here at Gulfstream Park. No finer place to spend Mother's Day 2019 than right here at GP. Looking ahead, though, and want to wish all our compatriots the best of luck. A short meet, but a good one nonetheless. A great one, actually, with the opening of Pimlico today. And we'll see the fact that Preakness 144 is not too far off in the future. And looking at the Friday, May 10th Stronach 5 rundown, we start here at Gulfstream Park in the 9th, and then we make that trip to Old Hilltop for Leg B there, the 9th as well at Pimlico.
Yeah, a little different this week. We started off at Gulfstream Park, and then Leg D is race 10 from Gulfstream Park. So a little bit of a change-up, but all the Stronach tracks involved this weekend. This Friday.
Absolutely. About 80 minutes from start to finish. So definitely note that that first leg is the 9th tomorrow afternoon at Gulfstream Park. And that brings us right into the likely probables, at least as far as the way the big picture looks a week and change out from Preakness 144. Obviously, there was some major news coming out of Kentucky, should say Churchill Downs in the wake of the Kentucky Derby, with Country House not running back your Derby winner via that disqualification of Bill Mott saying he may be coming down with a bit of a sickness, so he's out of training for the time being, and that leaves us, well, with a good-sized field at this point. I would imagine, Ronnie, looking at this potential lineup of starters in the Preakness, Improbable might be the favorite here for Bob Baffert.
Well, it's different than normal. Last couple of Preakness, you're always dealing with a big, heavy favorite. Now we got a good handicapping race for the Preakness this year.
Yeah, I would imagine this is the first Preakness off the top of my head, maybe since Grindstone won the Derby back in '96 and then was retired before the second jewel of the Triple Crown. We'll make the best of it. It's a day to celebrate the game, Maryland, the rich history in thoroughbred racing, and certainly with the Woodlawn Vase and that second jewel of the Triple Crown. So very much looking forward to next Saturday's Preakness Stakes. We're also looking forward to a few key nuggets on the program today on a fast and firm Thursday, May the 9th, and that includes a couple of rookie stallions in Lee and Kozan, who have definite key runners and major players in today's 8th race. And although we won't have maximum security running in a week and a half in the Preakness, we do have his older 5-year-old brother, Prince Tito, can be yours today, Ronnie, for $12,500 in the 3rd.
You going to claim him?
I am not going to claim him. In fact, I didn't pick him on top, but he's certainly a major player in that race for trainer Jose Garofalo. And it is kind of neat, even though he's more of a lower-level place claimer on this circuit. Kind of neat, again, with the Kentucky Derby still very much in that public consciousness. Kind of neat that you have a Derby, or at least a Florida Derby winner's half-older brother in the mix today.
Yeah, we got the Rainbow Six at the starting in race number 5 with over 800,000 in that pool.
Absolutely. Have not paid out that single ticket jackpot since this meet began. I think this is week number 5, so we are well over a month since the start of this spring-summer meet here at Gulfstream Park. And there you go, a 6-figure, soon-to-be, assuming no one takes it down today and tomorrow, soon-to-be a 7-figure carryover in that jackpot Rainbow Six, a 10-race card, which means that begins in the 5th race this afternoon, and we can dive right into the opening pick 5 and a good little matchup in the first race. 2 horses clearly even in the early betting with about 60 minutes, give or take, before race time. You've got 2 runners taking the bulk of the play, including Ronnie's pick, the 1 Sleeping Giant on the rail, and my top selection, or I should say my second choice on the outside, and the number 6 Zigzillion. You will have a replay of him. If they hook up, though, the 5 Moonwalker was the closer that I thought might be most effective. Liam Let's Go's the 2 in the second race. He's going to take a lot of beating after a very nice 3-year-old debut. My single, meanwhile, it is not Maximum Security's older brother. It's the number 5 horse Love Tree for Peter Walder, who could not have found a better spot, I think, to run for Walder off the claim.
Yeah, good condition. It fits the condition of the race perfectly, and Peter Walder pretty good first off the claim.
Outside for me in races 4 and 5, and in fact, looking at the 10 and 11 in the 5th race and the cash-out leg to a $12 early pick 5, you've got 2 poorly posted Mike Maker trained runners who do appear like they are just the cream of the crop going in to today's 5th race on the turf. You do get Edgar Zayas and Amisael Jaramillo and that 1-2 punch with trainer Mike Maker. But getting to this first race, and in fact, we'll spend more than half of this May 9th program on the Gulfstream Park turf. 6 grass races in all, and the first no exception as we go the 5 furlongs with this $12,500 turf sprint claimer. You often hear, Ronnie, these are specialized races, almost a niche-like, if you will, because of the distance at Gulfstream Park. You've got 2 horses, though, with that being said, who clearly, whether they're on special teams or not, likes of the 1 Sleeping Giant and Zigzillion. They're both really sharp and both of them very consistent.
Yeah, Sleeping Giant changing barns today, going to the Gilberto Zerpa barn after the claim, drops to the 12-5 level. First start coming with a neck and defeating a little better. There is the drop, but it's Edgar Zayas. But Zigzillion, boy, what a popular horse he is.
Yeah, he is bounced around from one barn to another, and in fact was claimed out of trainer Jason Service. Speaking of the Florida Derby and the Kentucky Derby, Service, the last out trainer, in a dominating win at 3-5 back on April 4th. In fact, you've got 3 runners dropping out of a race that will show you on a Gulfstream Park turf course that had taken some rain at the start of the spring meet. In fact, this was opening week, and Zigzillion doing his thing on the front end. My only issue per se, because Sleeping Giant and Zigzillion do look best on paper, and it's not debatable, is there a chance, Ronnie, that the both of them, because they're both pretty fast, do they potentially hook up in a duel that could really adversely affect them?
Well, we've seen that happen numerous times, but once in a while, I just thought Sleeping Giant was the speed of those speed and maybe gets the better trip in there. And Zigzillion, as we mentioned, popular, claimed in 4 consecutive races. I closed with Dave Reckoning, who's changing barns, going to the Herman Walensky barn. Find a little bit more. He's the one that's going to sit behind the speed in my estimation.
Yeah, Moonwalker's the one I want. I hear you. I mean, if things get hot and heavy up front, Ronnie clearly likes, who do you like here for? Day of Reckoning, right off the claim for Walensky. I'm right next door with Carlo Vaccarese in the 5 Moonwalker. As we dive right into race number 2, the first of a main track quartet on this Thursday, May 9th. We'll bring on these 3-year-olds in this non-winners-of-one allowance race. And in talking about the 3, including Zigzillion, that faced each other on the turf in today's opener, you've got the first 3 finishers back from the 8th race on April 5th, returning today in a little bit of a showdown. Look at this effort, though, by the likely heavy favorite in the second race, and Liam Let's Go, and he paid close to $25 last time. That's a pipe dream today. Man, I was really impressed after breaking from that tough inside post. Fact that he was able to hold his position inside and just how brave and resolute he was, making that often very tough run. You often hear horses like making those clear runs on the outside. Liam Let's Go did not have that luxury. Gave him some extra points for a good victory.
Yeah, really nice performance by him. He's going to try and make it 2 in a row, and he defeated 2 of the 4 rivals he faces today in that state-bred allowance that we just showed you. Now, the unknown in here is the number 5 Buddy's Run, who gets his first class check today after drawing clear and hiding from in his debut when he defeated 50 maidens. He won that race by 10+ lengths. He's the only one that I see that can maybe tussle with Liam Let's Go.
Yeah, he's the wild card, no doubt about it. And right now, a slight favorite in some of the doubles for Ralph Dix and Edgar Zayas. 2 versus the 5, Liam and Buddy in race number 2. Third on the program, meanwhile, as we stretch out on the dirt, our longest race so far today, as we go the 8 first. furlongs with this $12,500 claimer. You and I both taking a 5-4 exact. And look, I mean, outside of a Maximum Securities little brother, Prince Tito, and especially the new Walder claim, who's had close to 40 days between the day this horse was claimed and today, first time out for Peter, it looks awfully tough to get around both those horses, and we obviously both like Lovetree.
Yeah, and this horse certainly fits the condition to this race. Nominals of 3 in life or a race since December 1st. And I want to show you a stat on Peter Walder. First start after the claim, all levels on the dirt. He's 28 for 96, 29%. He's in the money 66% of the time, and $2.86 return of investment. So all encompassing first after the claim stat. And I just thought it was a good one for Peter Walder. Prince Tito was given some time to regroup. He responded to that drop down with a stalk and fade outing against this. He's got to bounce back. Jose Garofalo, Jesus Rios named to ride.
4-time winner, all 4 wins right here, lifetime that is, at Gulfstream Park for the 4 Prince Tito. Again, I do like that Walder has taken his time, so to speak, and you've got just under 40 days and running Lovetree back from a good post there, first time out for the barn. We'll stay at a mile, getting on to race number 4. These are 3-up filly mare, 2 lifetime 6250 claimers. You're going to try to beat Rose Path and As Arch. I didn't know where else to go. They figured to vie for favoritism, and with Rose Path, I mean, you've got a horse who, in context, has been pretty sharp and certainly in a sense of timeliness has just been in good form of late. You're down towards the inside. What do you like about the deuce?
Well, he's stepping up to face winners after stalking early. He drew clear late. He defeated those 10 maidens at the distance by. He won that race rather impressively, almost by 7 lengths. So I thought maybe he'd come back. Now, Rose Path on paper is certainly the one to beat in there. Solid performance at this level and distance for trainer Alexis Delgado. And As Arch is the logical horse to be on the ticket. Just trying to be maybe beat the logical favorite in there with the 2 recent maiden winners. Got to make that big jump up.
And we'll see if Ronnie's got any potential upsetters throughout the Rainbow Six. A near $1 million pool today when we come back after this quick timeout.
And they're off in the Princess Rooney with a quarter mile left to go. 4 off the top of the turn. Race for the Kathleen O'Connell barn in front by 5 with just 1/8 of a mile to go. And she's turning in this into a runaway. The powerhouse performance. She punches her ticket to the Breeders' Cup and wins by 5.
And that shot of Bob Baffert kissing the Woodlawn vase, I mean, that is something he's been able to do multiple times throughout his career. He'll be in the mix about a week and a half from now with Improbables, coming out of a good finish there, hitting the board in the Derby last Saturday as Ronnie and Jason welcome you back to this live Thursday edition of Gulfstream today. And again, no one has taken down the entire Rainbow Six jackpot. Today might be the day. You've got a ticket.
Yeah, I got a $43.20 ticket, and I got both of those horses we were talking about from Mike Maker in there, the 10 and 11. And I split it with the 2, Reef Sake. I didn't want to get beat, even though I like the 10 the best in the Dubai, and I like that horse the best. I didn't want to get knocked out in the first leg. Now, the 2-year-olds come in race number 8 today, and the horses we were talking about, I think Waikiki on the drop for Stanley Gold has a big chance in there, but I wanted to go 3 deep. Of course, they're 2-year-olds. And in the last race, my little bit of a long shot is the number 9, that's Sherorama from Terry Pompey, who broke slowly from the inside last time out. I think 6-1 on the morning line. This horse with a cleaner trip can beat I think the 2 horse will be the favorite in there. I'm going to try and beat it with the 9, but I'm using 3 in the final leg.
And that's veteran trainer Milt Wolfson with the 2 Hire the Lady, who really ran a good race first time out and was well bet. If memory serves, opened up, if memory serves, that is, opened up at around 2-1, steadily drifted drifted up and was just under 10-1 and did everything but win, losing a tough one there at the wire behind Ken Holter Wine in a Sunday night cap a few weeks ago. But anyway, race number 5, as we volley back to this opening leg, Ronnie, goes at 7.5 furlongs on the turf, and very much a turf-centric Rainbow Six sequence, as there's a lot of grass to go around, including this 2-lifetime 3-and-up filly and mare $12,500 claimer, where I think most are going to look at this race and say, okay, I don't like the post per se, even with the scratch for the 10 Dubaian, who's in box 9, and Red Hot Kitten, who's now in box 10, but you get Maker and you get the 2 best riders here at the meet.
Yeah, and Dubaian is sitting on that winning performance, responded to the drop down in competition. Well, I thought it was a really well-meant second-place finish at this level and distance. Mike Maker, you mentioned MSCL, atop the lightly raced 5-year-old daughter of Hanson. Now, Red Hot Kitten, who you have on top of your ticket, this one is from also the Mike Maker barn. I want to show you a stat what this horse is doing today. This horse ran on the synthetic. He's going to go to the turf. He's with Mr. Maker doing this over the last 5 years. He's 30-1 for 125, 25%. He's in the money almost 50% of the time, and still a positive return of investment. And this is the daughter of Super Turf sire Kitten's Joy. Ran against allowance competition at Turfway. I don't know what that means as far as claiming goes here, but certainly Mike really good with the synthetic to turf move.
And he seems to have a good sense of who belongs where. I mean, he obviously, as far as numbers go, I mean, he's got to have one of the biggest barns, just, I mean, as far as just sheer head size goes in terms of the Midwest to the East. And again, seems to have the knack as to what horses might run well here on the turf during the spring and summer months coming in from Turfway Park. I'm going to take Red Hot Kitten, who's got Edgar Zayas. What about the Deuce, though, for Reef's sake, who's got a much better post for a very good trainer as well in Marcassi?
Yeah, stretching out around 2 turns after breaking from that demanding outside post and finishing that late charging third. Going 5/8 of a mile. I think the sophomore should be closer to the pace this afternoon. And why I split the 10 and the 11 with the 2 is because of the post. This one might get first run, and those horses have to carve out a trip from that outside.
All right, half-mile pole run begins now in race 6. It is 5 down and 5 to go, late pick 5, and much like the Rainbow, for the most part, we are predominantly on the grass here, as the opening leg is on the GP turf at 1 mile. And with these big fielded turf races, I've got coverage in basically 3/5 of this thing, with 3 horses in the 6th, 7th, and the 10th. My single coming in race number 9. I'm standing alone, and I nearly pulled the trigger on the Lee firster, RC Smoke, for Wesley Ward. But the fact that that horse, that filly, did cost 75 and debuts for 25 gave me some cold feet in the waning moments when I had my pick 5 ticket deadline. I'm going to stand alone with Diamond Mint. Do you like that horse at all in the 9th race?
I do have him on top, yeah.
Georgie Delgado?
Yeah, I have him on top. Moves to his barn after the claim. Got to improve that thing for finishing 2nd and 3rd all the time. Maybe the barn change will help.
Yeah, change of scenery oftentimes can do the trick, and goes from one good trainer to another, I might add, and we'll certainly expound upon the year and the last 6 months and change that Jorge Delgado has had here in South Florida. Anyway, though, this upcoming 6th race is a pretty good field for the level, and you run into a situation, or at least I did, where, and sure enough, 8-6-1-5. It is a good matchup, I should say, between the 6 Coniston and the 8 King Orb. And the thing is, I mean, it's almost the double whammy against the others. You arguably have, in fact, I don't think it's arguable, you got the 2 best horses in the race, and they both have early speed. So it's a good chance they're going to run 1-2 around the turf course.
Yeah, the King Orb moved to the Rohan Crichton barn after the claim makes his first start. He set the pace and yielded late, finished 4th against those 16 2-lifetime claimers. So let's show you stat on Rohan. First start after the claim on the turf. He's 4 for 15, 27%, 53% in the money, and the return of investment is $2.02. But Coniston breaks big pack today, broke from post 10 last time out. I think those are the 2 logical ones in there.
They definitely are. Live Like Larry, in the meantime, capping our try. I got a bit of a feel, And maybe this is unfair to Live Like Larry, but we saw Safi, who's tied for leading trainer at the meet with 8 wins alongside Joe Orsino. I mean, it's really been a 2019 to remember thus far for Safi. But he picked up some horses, and I think Baffin Bay was off a trainer change. But we saw him earlier this year with horses that were going up in class off easier wins for Safi, who seem to just keep getting better and better. Might we run into a situation today where that's the case with Live Like Larry stepping up?
Yeah, I mean, he's stepping up to tussle with winners. He dueled throughout. He held sway. He defeated those 20 maidens at the distance. Safi's pretty good, winning consecutive races. As you mentioned, he's good doing everything recently. He's about 28% and could not leave that one off the ticket.
All right, Jalan Samuel in the irons with that gelding by Violence. Moving on to race number 7 today, turfing here, 1 mile the distance, 50K 3-and-up maiden claimers in the Thursday 7th race and a field of 9. This is a good little affair, but a race that perhaps is as easy as the number 5, Get the News. This horse is probably going to be even underlaid because of the recent speed figure. Certainly on Beyer is hands down unequivocally the fastest horse in the race. I do want to show that last out effort, even though I picked the 5, Get the News, and I'm not trying to talk out of both sides of my mouth. This is an effort, though, that came up fast on Beyer with an 80 and looks pretty good on paper. When I watched the replay, though, I said, you know, this horse kind of just was very much one-paced, and you can see for yourself where he was able to save ground and draw your own conclusions. Gray horse angles out in the middle of the racetrack, and he never really punches it in the high gear. But again, the fact that this was special weight, Ronnie, and he's in for the 50 may ultimately just make him the fastest runner in the race today.
Well, Get the News, that's certainly the story in this field. When dropping to the 50 level, that's the big news. After posting the last race Buyers, you mentioned 80, finished 3rd. You saw it right there. He was beating a length and a half. It's Mark Cassie, got Fergal Lynch in there. And I just thought on the drop, he was the one to beat in there. I thought maybe some people might single this horse when they see that gaudy Beyer figure in there. But I also used the 3-horse Blue Sky Kitten, who's looking to make amends. After flattening out, he finished 5th. He was the tepid favorite that afternoon at this level and distance. Good connections with Armando de la Cerda, Emiciel Jaramillo at the controls. I thought that was a logical one in there.
At least he fires every time, right? You do get Armando and you get Emiciel, and he's got good speed and positional speed where he can make his own luck. He's got to get over that second-itis, though, and that sort of bridesmaid appearance that he's had over his last handful of races. Could today be the day? I'm going to try to split, though, your 5-3 exacta with the 9 Royal Family. I thought got a really nice ride last time from Jairo Rendon, and this horse was just closing gamely at nearly 40-1 behind a wire-to-wire winner in Traveling. Maybe he's on the improved 3rd time out with a good pedigree, and who knows, a Chad Brown cast-off that was claimed by Lily Kurtnitz. Maybe Lily, so to speak, claimed the diamond in the rough, right?
We'll see. I got it on the ticket just further down.
All right, Ronnie's 5-3-4-9. I'm going to go with the 5-9-3-4, and we are, in fact, going to backtrack over 5 years ago. Hard to believe. 2014, my friend. It's the Don Handicap with Lee. Here's Larry Comas.
And Lee is in front. 3/4 win in 1:10-4, and they're into the stretch. And Lee turns for home with a 4-length lead, but Will Take Charge is beginning to move now with a furlong to run. Lee still running strong for the wire. Will Take Charge is 2 lengths back, and he's determined to try to catch Lee, but Lee is too far out in front, and Lee has won the Don under Joel Rosario. It was Will Take Charge second, Viramundo was 3rd, and then came Bourbon Courage, and the final time was 1 minute, 46.86 seconds. That is a new track record.
Well, he was a powerhouse. He was a very good horse by First Samurai, who won 7 of 19 and banked well over $2.3 million. And the reason we showed Lee, and perhaps the biggest win of his career in that 2014 Don, now known as the Pegasus World Cup Dirt, he's got his first starter at stud coming up in this 8th race today, the number 1 RC Smoke, who I picked on top, you put second. But enlighten us a little bit here with Wesley Ward.
Well, Waikiki, Wesley Ward, Wesley Ward is pretty sharp. Debuts for Wesley, but we talked about this the other day. This one cost $75,000. debuting for a $25,000 tag. Freshman starts her campaign with LASIK. She's got Alvin Jimenez handling the inside post, going to take all the money in there, but I did go with the 2 Waikiki, who's dropping to the 25 level and adding LASIK. Has showed some brief interest and faded to finish 5th. But Stanley Gold usually spots them where they belong. I want to show you a stat with him with 2-year-olds going maiden special weight to maiden, claiming on the dirt. He's 4 for 16, 25%, 56% of the money, and $1.15 is the return of investment. I just thought with the previous experience, horse last week came back and won after an experience, a little bit of experience. So I'm going to try and beat RC Smoke today.
All right, like that picture of Stanley, a native, grew up in Cherrytown, New Jersey, and obviously one of the premier year-round trainers and stables here in South Florida. In fact, about 8 days, in fact, from Cookie Dough running in next Friday's Black Eyed Susan.
Black Eyed Susan, Cookie Dough, boy, that horse really blossomed.
Yeah.
I like that horse. So see how she runs.
All right, yeah, Cookie Dough, best of luck to her. And Arundel, of course, in the Black Eyed Susan, 8 days from now. And Waikiki, perhaps a potential upsetter. You do run into a situation here, even though the big negative and the elephant in the room is the $75,000 purchase price with RC Smoke. I mean, you've also got a trainer who, bar none, I mean, I put Wesley Ward for races like this. I put him #1 in the country, ahead of the Bafferts and the Todd Pletchers. And his horses just break like they've done it 8 million times in the past. So hopefully going 4.5, even debuting for a quarter. None of that stuff's going to matter with the big speed and that gate sharpness with RC Smoke. Let's move on to race number 9, an all-turf late double. In fact, the 8th race is the only non-turf affair in the Rainbow Six and the late pick 5. So we're back on the grass for the balance of the program. Coming up on this $12,500 3-and-up claiming race, and a race in which I've got my single in the mix. You and I both agreed as far as our top pick goes, Georgie Delgado, who's just 30% and upwards in just about every category. He's got the 3 Diamond Mint at 2 for 29 off the claim.
Well, Diamond Mint is turned finishing 2nd or 3rd into sort of an art form. Moves to the Jorge Delgado barn. You got to try and wake this horse up, hoping to improve on that also ran status. I think this is the spot where this horse deserves to be the favorite, but I'm not 100% sold. Not enough to single it like you did.
Yeah, no, I singled this horse. So you didn't single, you still picked the horse. Who's the main danger? Is it Steve Caceres off the claim?
Yeah, can't take it with you to #5, drop it to the 12-5 level, turn it back to 5 furlongs first race, back from a 7-month-plus layoff for a barn that sports a really good average with horses turning back from a route to a sprint on the grass. So I used that one. Earth would be further up on my ticket if it wasn't for the post.
Yeah, that one saddled outside for Jenna Antonucci, and Angel Rodriguez. Earth capping my try. Ronnie 3-5-11. I'll go 3-7-11 in race number 9. And let's wrap it up with race number 10. A little bit of a teaser when Ronnie gave out his Rainbow Six ticket. We do have the Thursday, May 9 Nicoletti Bomber in this race. A 3-and-up filly mare, 20K maiden claimer. I took the easy way out. I'm chalking it out with the deuce higher, the lady. Shanghai, Sweetheart, might run well off the claim for Wanavia. But give us a little update on your Terry Pompey runner in this race who goes out with Miguel.
Well, she's eligible to show more and score the price. She broke slowly from the rail last time out prior to rallying to finish 4th behind one of the horses in here, Vino, last time out. It's Terry Pompey. It's Miguel Vasquez atop this daughter of Big Drama. And I just thought with an improved, maybe with the outside post, I get a little bit of a price, and I really respect what Terry Pompey does. Second race at this level, I think, could be a winning one.
Big Drama Stakes here Saturday as well.
Right. Big Drama Stakes and good race.
Yeah, really good race. That is the 10th of 12 here on Saturday afternoon. That Saturday between the Derby and the Preakness. Looks like a good card, some big fields and some serious firepower in the Big Drama, named for a Florida-bred former Breeders' Cup Sprint winner and Eclipse Award-winning champion sprinter. Were you, Pete, a Big Drama fan? Are we going to get a big thumbs up from Pete, who in fact is coming up next with those Thursday scratches and changes?